What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 20 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 20 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which will be a link down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $746 just yesterday, and another member who won $4,485 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Roger McDuff 724, who said nice value provided, bro. Interesting. So shouts out to him, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're talking about is A'ja Wilson for 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at A'ja Wilson, we actually have seen her go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at these 5 games, we definitely have seen her, actually go on the under, like I mentioned, 1 of the last 5, but on September 10th, faced off against Chicago, had 20 PRA there. Then September 12th, faced off against the Sparks, had a 46 PRA. Then a 39 PRA against Seattle on September 15th. Then September 17th, faced off against Seattle, had a 39 PRA. Then a 46 PRA against Seattle on September 19th. So it's definitely been fantastic to see for A'ja Wilson. She definitely has done a good job, but we do like the under for this situation here for her. Now, our average over the last 5 is 38, and we do know A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces do face off against none other than Indiana Fever. Now, this is definitely going to be an exciting game for sure, and looking at both of these teams, we do know where both of them do actually stand. Now, both definitely had a great first series or round 1 series for both of these teams. We did see Aces beat the Storm and also Fever knock out Atlanta Dream. And it was pretty interesting to see because Fever were obviously the underdogs coming into that series. But starting off with Las Vegas Aces, during the regular season, we did see them come second in the WNBA. On top of that, they also came second in the Western Conference with a record of 30 wins, 14 losses. That's a 68.2% win percentage. And also 17-5 from home, 13-9 from away, and are currently on a 16-game win streak. So it is pretty interesting to see. Obviously, looking at that, we do know when it comes to, A'ja Wilson and also the Aces, we do know that they definitely finished off the season strong, and they face off against Indiana Fever, where Indiana Fever do come in at the 6th spot in the WNBA and also ranked 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Now, they had a record of 24 wins and 20 losses. That's a 54.5% win percentage. Also, they are 13-9 from home, 11-11 from away, and we're currently on a 3-game win streak to finish off the season. So, A'ja Wilson and also Fever, it is definitely going to be an exciting matchup there. But looking at Indiana Fever defensively during the regular season, we did actually see them come 8th in points allowed. Also, when it comes to assists allowed, they came 4th, and then rebounds allowed, they did rank 4th as well. So Indiana Fever actually did a pretty decent job at ranking, in points and rebounds. However, coming into this matchup, we do very much, like the rebound, the under for this situation here for points, rebounds, and assists. Now, obviously, points, they do rank a little bit worse, but when we actually look at Indiana Fever when it comes to restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the center position, we do actually see that they rank very high. So that's a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. Now, coming into this one, we do also know when it comes to A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces and also the Indiana Fever, we also do know when it comes to this matchup, we are expecting Indiana Fever to really put the pressure on someone like A'ja Wilson, as we have seen in the past that Indiana Fever do a really good job. They did it against Atlanta Dream, but they really do hone in, focus in on stars of the other team. team and try to restrict them as much as they can. So we are expecting Indiana Fever to really come out of this series and really put a lot of the pressure on someone like A'ja Wilson. So that's why we do very, very much like the under for this situation here. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one. So for A'ja Wilson, when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also are favored for the under as well. So A'ja Wilson, 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Lexi Hull. So, obviously, Lexi Hull, great player, and this is from the same game, but this one is actually for Lexi Hull for 8.5 points. And this one actually is for less. Now, this one is an interesting one to see. Obviously, looking at someone like Lexi Hull, we do know that she has gone on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, we do see on September 8th, faced off against Washington Mystics, actually had 7 points there. September 10th, faced off against Minnesota, had 4 points. 9 points against Atlanta Dream on September 15th. Then September 17th actually faced off against Atlanta, had 7 points, then 10 points against Atlanta on September 19th. So we have seen Lexi Hull actually go on the under, as I've mentioned, in 3 out of the last 5. And obviously in that first series against Atlanta, they were able to beat them, and now they find themselves against Las Vegas Aces. Now, looking at this matchup, we do know that both of these teams do rank pretty decently. Obviously, Fever did come in, as we've mentioned before. Just to remind you quickly again, they did come in at the 6th spot in the WNBA, but also 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Now, though they did have a record of 24 wins and 20 losses, over the last 10 games, they've actually had a record of 6-4. So it is pretty interesting to see there. Now, coming into the next one, or the other side of the matchup, we do know Las Vegas Aces do come in at the 2nd spot in WNBA and 2nd in the Western Conference. They actually have a record of 30 wins and 14 losses, and they also have a record of 10-0. So, over the last 10 games, that is. So, Aces, as we mentioned, they did finish with a 16-game win streak, so they finished off the season strong. Fever also did a pretty decent job, over the last 10 games, but coming into this one, we do know that Las Vegas Aces, during the regular season, actually ranked 7th when it comes to points allowed. Now, the reason why I don't just like to go off that number is because when it came to, Indiana Fever, obviously we saw them do pretty, I would say, consistent time when it comes to defense throughout the whole season. With Las Vegas Aces, however, we do see a bit of a different story, because the Las Vegas Aces actually went, as I mentioned, on a 16-game win streak to, end the season. And they really turned it up a notch. We actually saw Las Vegas Aces over the last 15 games that they played, or, in this case, 16, because it probably did happen in that 16th game. But we did actually see Las Vegas Aces in the last 15 games rank 3rd when it came to points allowed. So, although overall during the regular season we didn't see Aces actually do a fantastic job, they actually, really honed in, fixed everything up, and really pushed their defense and really put them in a great position. And we are expecting that defense to come out for this game. So, that's why with the Aces kind of defensive line in this, it is a little bit skewed due to the fact that they did definitely step it up a notch. So we are expecting Aces to step it up a notch and do the same for someone, or against someone like Lexi Hull. Now, when it comes to Lexi as well, you do also have to realize that when it comes to, someone like her, she doesn't have the highest usage rate in points out of all these players in this Indiana Fever team. So we are expecting her line, or even her usage rate out there to be a little bit on the lower side, which is why we do very, very much like the under for this situation here. So for that reason, Lexi Hull, 8.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than actually Chelsea Gray. So, Chelsea Gray, great player, as we all know. And this one is a fantastic one for actually points, for 10.5 points. And this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Chelsea Gray, we actually have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. And looking at those 5 games, you see on September 10th, faced off against Chicago, had 10 points there. September 12th, faced off against Los Angeles Sparks, had 15 points. Then 5 points against Seattle Storm on September 15th. And then 7 points against Seattle Storm on September 17th. And September 19th, faced off against Seattle and had 12 points there. So, it's definitely been interesting for Chelsea Gray, and also, their matchup, which is none other than Indiana Fever coming into this next game. Now, obviously, when it comes to actually Chelsea Gray and Las Vegas Aces, they face off against Indiana, as we all know. Now, I don't think I need to remind you all about the matchup. We do know how both these teams actually did, but what I do also or want to mention is that looking at this, we do also see when it comes to Las Vegas Aces and the matchup against Indiana Fever, we do know Indiana Fever do come in at the 8th spot when it comes to points allowed. So yes, they do rank a little bit low when it comes to actually points allowed. However, when it comes to Indiana Fever, the reason why we still do like the under for this situation here is that when it actually comes to someone like Chelsea Gray, we definitely have seen her usage rate be really much on the lower side, and we definitely see that unfortunately having a huge effect there. Now, for someone like Chelsea Gray, we also do know that she does play the guard position, and when it comes to Indiana Fever, we do know that they actually do a really good job at actually restricting points in the guard position as well. So, you know, for that reason, we are definitely expecting the under for this situation here. And when it comes to actually, you know, someone like Chelsea Gray, what we also have noticed is that when it comes to, you know, her usage rate throughout the whole series of against Seattle, we definitely saw other players in the Aces team actually take a little bit more of a, you know, I would say a secondary role in that sense, as we definitely have seen that, you know, it's definitely been interesting to see that Chelsea Gray, her usage rate definitely has fallen, and it has gone to other players in this, you know, Aces team. So we are expecting a similar sort of situation to happen. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye for the under. When we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also are favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So Chelsea Gray, 10.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick.